All right, it is Wellness Wednesday, and heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans, and more than 1 in 3 women is living with some form of cardiovascular disease. So one local woman's story could save another life.
Yes, so joining us now to share that story right here in studio, we have Lauren Law, who is a Loudoun County resident and heart attack survivor, along with Zoe Schrader, who is the marketing and communication manager for Oak Health Club. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you, ladies, for having us here.
Absolutely.
God, my heart racing this morning.
We're running all over the studio.
Around the studio here,
This stat, though, is really something. So 1 in 3 women are living with some form of heart disease. Lauren, what's that all about?
Okay, well, actually, my story starts with 7 bouts of cancer. The first 6 were skin cancer, 3 were melanoma, 1 was invasive, and I also had 2 basal cells and 1 squamous cell. Then I was diagnosed with invasive breast cancer, which required a double mastectomy and chemotherapy. To prevent the recurrence of the breast cancer, it was advised that I do exercise. But because I had 6 skin cancers, that exercise should be with the avoidance of sun, so hence exercise indoors. On September 6th, I was swimming at an indoor pool rather vigorously for 40 minutes. And when I got out of the pool and got to the car, I noticed that my heart was beating very, very fast. I looked at my watch and I was expecting to see 140 beats a minute. But instead, it said 40 beats a minute, which I thought was really rather odd.
Yeah.
Then I noticed a tenderness at the base of my neck, or at the top of my neck. And I thought perhaps I was dehydrated because the salivary glands are there. So I started to sip some water, but noticed that my symptoms weren't alleviated. And at the same time, I realized that I was too weak to drive the 2 miles to get home. So it was very scary.
Yes,
so at that
this
point,
is terrifying.
Yes. So at that point, I called 911, and they sent the ambulance. And on there, they assessed me, and the EMT said, "Ma'am, you're having a heart attack, and we need to get you to the hospital immediately." And they did, and I was met with a crush of people at the ER who prepared me for a cardiac catheterization. And this proved that I was having something called a Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, which essentially, it's a rare type of heart attack, and essentially the left ventricle balloons out, weakening. So it had to compensate, and that's why it was beating so fast to get the equivalent of 40 beats a minute.
And you're so fit.
And so I know you were working out at Oak Health Club, and you have a lot of great dietitians and trainers there. So what do we as women need to know? Like, what should we be doing to continue to build up our heart health?
Yeah, so I have 3 different tips for you all today. The first one would be to get at least 150 minutes of moderate physical activity each week, or 75 minutes of vigorous activity. And that can be split up into short bursts throughout the week, even as short as 5 or 10 minutes, and trying to find activities you enjoy. So maybe you're going for a walk outside, maybe you're coming to a health club like Oak to take a class, or even working with a coach to have that accountability. The second tip would be to incorporate a well-balanced diet, so eating lots of healthy fruits and vegetables, whole grains, healthy sources of protein. And if you have questions about your diet, you can always reach out to a registered dietitian, like ones that we have at Oak, that are happy to help people find a well-balanced diet that works best for them. And then my third tip would be to try and minimize stress. So maybe going through breathwork activities, maybe trying out some yoga classes. We have a yin yoga class at Oak that is restorative, and it's great for reducing stress. But just finding whatever it is that helps work for you. I know Lauren said that exercising personally helps her reduce stress, so just finding what works for you.
Yeah, there's a solution for everyone out there, as we need to know too more about our hearts and how to take care of them, because you would have never thought, Lauren, that would be your story, right?
Exactly.
Well, and we've seen too with Damar Hamlin learning CPR. For all of us to really learn CPR. Lauren, you think that would really be helpful? Real quick?
I actually used to teach CPR.
Okay.
I was a volunteer at the Ashburn Volunteer Fire and Rescue for 11 years, and I taught CPR to the firefighters and EMT there. So it did help to know that, and I do advise everyone to become familiar with the signs of a heart attack. You never know when it's going to happen.
How scary.
And
Well, we're glad you are okay
Yes,
and
thank
healthy
you.
and sharing your story. And
Thank
thank you,
you.
Zoe, to everything you do at Oak. You can learn more about Oak Health Club and their dietitians and all the stress relief that they can give you at
We need it right now.
oakhhealthclub.com.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you.